Hello everyone, it's Leo and it's time to talk about MAGILUMIERE, Magical Girls Inc. Episode 1. I'm a huge fan of the MAGILUMIERE manga and I've been pronouncing it MAGILUMIERE, but since in the show they pronounce it MAGILUMIERE, that's how I'm gonna say it from now on. And I'm a very big fan of the manga, so I was super hyped for this first episode. I am super hyped for this series. And I could not be happier. What a great first episode this was. I thought it was really good. And there were two things that really called my attention while I was watching it. And the first thing is the pacing. I really liked it. I thought it flowed really well. And things went by so fast. And the second one is the soundtrack. The soundtrack of this show is out of this world. At least in this first episode, it was out of this world. It was crazy. And I also really liked the visuals. I loved the voice acting. And everything was super well done, in my opinion. Really cool. So we start the episode with a scene of Hitomi, one of the magical girls, one of the main magical girls of MAGILUMIERE. And she is fighting against a super big monster. And we see a lot of her personality in that first moment. And I believe that first scene is, in terms of animation, the best scene of this episode. It was super hype. Like the soundtrack and the animation and the voice acting, everything just came together to create such a great scene. We could see her, on top of two bikes, and they were running away from that monster while she was, channeling a power, and she was able to use the power and get that monster and capture it with a little pen drive. And I just love how she jumps to capture it, and then she falls down, and then she's able to roll on the ground and, make a pose at the end. Girl, she slays so hard. Oh my God. Hitomi is amazing. And then we get a little explanation of how the world of MAGILUMIERE is. And look, I love Kana's voice. Kana is the main character, and her voice actor is Aifa Ruse, who is a gorgeous voice actor. And both voice actors from both Kana and Hitomi, they did stellar jobs. And so we get a little explanation of this world in which there's a threat called Kai, which is the name of those monsters. And to fight those monsters, there are lots of companies in the country that hire women to become magical girls to fight against them. And look, I could not be happier about a scenario like this because I love magical girls. But one thing that really kept my foot back with MAGILUMIERE is the fact that we're talking about companies, is the fact that we're talking about a job scenario, So I was always like, like how will it be with magical girls as workers? Like I like the magical aspect of it, you becoming something magical, not because you have to earn money, but you for your own feelings, for your own things that we see a lot in magical girl shows. And in MAGILUMIERE it's completely different, but we'll get there. And then we switch a little bit to the corporate side of things, and we see that MAGILUMIERE, the company itself, is very small, and they're talking about hiring a new magical girl so that Hitomi is not going to be all by herself anymore, and she's super happy about this possibility. And then at the same time, we start following Kana, which is a woman who is looking for a job. And look, I thought that the transition between the scenes is really cool because we start the episode with a super high energy moment of a battle, and then we get to more of the human side of things, which, it's kind of tense because looking for jobs is tense, but when you're watching as a watcher, it's chill. It is something that, doesn't hype you up very much. You just chill while you're watching. And I think that the episode was able to balance the energy really nicely with those moments. And then we start seeing Kana looking for jobs, and she goes on to a job interview and she failed. But there was something really nice on that, which I feel like shows a lot about her character. She talked about a specific thing from the company that she was trying to get a job at, and they were like, the person who was interviewing her didn't even know about it. And then the other one said, well, the owner of the company actually talked about it in an interview. It's in Hindi, and she probably translated the interview and heard about it and read about it and studied about it. So that really goes to show Kana's personality, and that just goes to show how deep she studies and she researches. And then the next scene on the cafe just shows another side of her personality, which is the good memory that she has. What was happening there had nothing to do with her, but she was able to, she was not even paying attention. She was in her own world, in her own mind, thinking about the next job that she was going to apply for. And, she was like sad because she failed. But, she was able to listen to what everyone was saying and get everything right. All of the cafes that people were trying to order. And look, I would love to have that ability because my memory is horrible. I'm just like the other woman who was working and forgot all of the orders. Girl, Kana is amazing in that sense. And so they thanked Kana in her cafe. They put "thank you very much" in the cafe. That's like just a little nice detail. And then Kana was there trying to think of ways of enhancing her appliances because, nothing was working for her. She went to more than 15 interviews and she landed nothing. And then on the next job offer, or not job interview that she was going to, I like those little moments of corporate details that we have. It's not a major thing, obviously, but it's kind of like a commentary on corporate jobs. Like, we get into this other company, and in the world of MAGILUMIERE, they're supposed to have a maintenance for Kais in buildings. And in that building, they were not doing the maintenance because it was too expensive. And, that obviously does not happen exactly like that in corporate life, but we know that maintenance in big buildings and places, they don't happen as often, or they usually don't happen as often as they should. We work in places that have lots of issues in terms of the buildings and everything. We're exposed to lots of dangers. And so, we understand that because we live that kind of thing. They just twist it to turn into something different in terms of this show, to follow the theme of this show. So I really like that. And they start saying things like, oh, this room is too cold. What is going on? But they don't care. They have so much work to do, and they're probably overworked people who are not the owners of the companies. They probably have a higher status because they're hiring, but they're still not the owners. They're also going to be called out by their bosses. Their results have to be there. All of those things. As I said, this is something minor in the episode, but I just like it. And then when we get to the interview, everything is super, super cold. And Kana even says, even if I get hired, I won't even work here because I won't be able to stand this. I would love to have something like that here in Brazil right now. Please, it's too hot. I'm sweating while recording. And then it was obviously the action of Kai. And then they have to hire a magical girl very fast. And so they do hire, they find a website and they hire MAGILUMIERE. Because MAGILUMIERE, one of the mottos of the website is that when you call, they will be there at the exact same time you call. And so the only magical girl in MAGILUMIERE is Hitomi, and she goes. But before she leaves, we have a transformation scene. And look, as I said, I'm a big fan of MAGILUMIERE, but I was not expecting it to have such a great transformation scene. Oh my goodness, I loved it so much. The colors, the backgrounds, and as I said before, I really love the magic aspect of Magical Girls, and MAGILUMIERE is very focused on the technological side of things, but I love how they mixed it up with this transformation. It was the perfect balance and mix of magic and technology. The effects were both technological and high tech, and also on the glittery and shiny side of Magical Girls. So I feel like it was the perfect balance. I love her poses. I love the sparkling body. She sometimes does some sexy poses. I really love this transformation. Oh my god. And I just love how at the end of the transformation she also does a roll call, because in this show, if we think about it, it shouldn't need a roll call like that, but there is one. And it was just great. And at the end, they don't have magical names in MAGILUMIERE, but it's so Magical Girl that she has a roll call, and at the end she says her own name, Hitomi Koshigaya, because she's a magical girl. Oh my god, it's everything. And then she gets to the broom and then she just flies. Her broom is not a regular one, because the regular one was eaten by the monster at the start of the episode. But then she gets there very fast. And when she gets there, she gets very angry because of the fact that there was no maintenance and everything, because they should have been doing that. And that Kai is a very strong one that one Magical Girl only would not be able to withstand it. And it would be too long for another company to arrive with another Magical Girl. So, she had to do the job because something dangerous could happen to the building. The building could be frost very fast. It could become an iceberg, as she says. And she needs help. No one wants to help her. And it's another interesting comment about corporate life. The man who is probably the higher up in that moment from that company is why are you involving civilians in this situation? Civilians shouldn't be supposed to help you. And there's this other side, which is, if we do that, can we get a discount on your job because we're civilians? Okay, this happened because of you, because of your own company, and you want a discount on the person or the job that is going to save everything? And even probably your lives are in danger as well. And so many lives are in danger. But you're thinking about a discount. What matters is a discount to them. It's so funny. And when Kana says okay, I can help. I can try to help you. And he's if you do that, this has nothing to do with the job interview. This is not going to help you in the job interview. This is their priority. It is such a good commentary on corporate life. I know this has nothing to do with it, but here in Brazil, we're going through a heat wave. It's very, very strong. And the last few weeks, the country was burning and there was smoke everywhere. And we still had to keep going with our own lives. You can't stop working. You can't stop producing. No matter what is going on, the machine never stops. So it's a very good commentary on this kind of thing that happens in our world, in our society. And as I said, it's so small, but it's so good. And then Kana ends up helping Hitomi. She explains to her that she will fire some bullets and then she will have to reload at the right moment. And when Hitomi is there, and look, it's important because Hitomi is someone who acts a lot on instinct. She's always acting on instinct, and this technical side of things is not really her thing. We could already notice that in this episode. And then Kana is there helping her, and then Kana starts noticing other things about the app that she has to use to reload and to give her the necessary power that she will use against that Kai. And she notices the type of bullet is not properly the one that should be active. And Kana is also very good with that app because she already studied for a job application she had, and her mind is a titanium mind with this aspect with her memory. She remembers what she studied back then. And it's very easy for it to be a boring thing for us to watch. I can work on this app, and then you just see the person working on the app. This can get very boring very easily. But again, I feel like the show is able to make it a hype moment. I was rooting for Kana at that moment because her construction as a character so far has been really good. And there's also the background, the drawing, the animation on that scene, and also the soundtrack. Everything makes for a super strong and hype moment. it's just very, very good. I just really, really enjoyed it. And then we get to a moment in which the Kai attacks. Hitomi is able to protect Kana because that is her job, and she really makes it clear that she's going to protect her with her life, and that also creates a lot of hype. And that whole scene is interesting because the Kai does not move, and again, it's very easy to become a boring thing. But I feel like the construction of everything, the direction of all of that scene is really, really something else, and it was able to make it so that the show never got stale. Oh my goodness. It was everything. I just loved it. And so they were able to defeat the Kai and capture it. And then Hitomi takes Kana to MAGILUMIERE because Kana just landed herself a job at MAGILUMIERE. And so when she gets there, she starts noticing that people in this company talk to each other in a very regular way, in a normal way. There's not the corporate level of dialogues and the way people treat each other, all with suits and everything. It's very regular. She even compares it to a school club. It's like a school club. And that is a shocking thing for her because she's been looking for a job for so long, so she knows how corporate life is. But there is a different place. And then she meets the boss. And that is the biggest shock of all to her. I love him, but we haven't met him yet properly, but we will. I'm excited. And as I said in the beginning, let me get back to what I was saying. As I said, I think that I really love the magical aspect of the Magical Girls. I just love those attack names that make no proper sense, but they just get like cute words and put them together. Starlight Honeymoon Therapy Kiss, things like that. I just love it. And then in MAGILUMIERE, I have to pause myself. In MAGILUMIERE, it's different. They keep on saying like technical things and numbers and everything. But at least visually, it's very entertaining. I also like the wand that they gave to Hitomi with the little cat, and it meows as well. It's cute. It just adds to the flavor a little bit. And I think that the costumes from the MAGILUMIERE company, because each company has a different costume for their magical girls, and the MAGILUMIERE costume is not really the best one, but I think it looks really good in the show. I don't know what happens. Is it just the hype that I'm having? But I really think it looks really, really nice. I really love it. So it's really good. So the corporate side of things, it can get boring, but MAGILUMIERE does it in a way that it just changes things and makes it exciting. Especially because the company itself, MAGILUMIERE, Magical Girls Inc., the company itself is a startup, and it's a different company than the other ones. It's a smaller one. They don't act like, it's a serious job and all. They all have a very distinctive personalities. We haven't met people yet, and we will see more of their dynamic in the future. But so far, this show has been doing a gorgeous job in this aspect as well. So I just really, really like it. I just feel like this first episode was a great present to us. Oh my God. How good was it? I loved it. And yes, babies, I am hyped for more MAGILUMIERE. Oh, I just want to say, I really like the opening and the ending. Both of the songs are really good, and I really like the visuals. The opening visual is very hype. It just makes you hyped. It just makes you want to root for the Magical Girls. And I just love there's one that we see like two mirrors, and we see Kana going on one side as a human and then the other as a magical girl. I really like it. And I also love the ending. The visuals from the ending are very funny. And I really like that scene at the end in which they take pictures of the whole group. It's just really lovely. And the pixel art. I am a very big fan of pixel arts. So I just love the pixeled moment in the ending as well. Oh my God, how happy I am. MAGILUMIERE, thank you for being great. And as babies, this was my opinion on the first episode of MAGILUMIERE. Are you going to watch this show? Please leave in the comments if you are. Let's keep watching and hyping this because this is really good. And please, let's keep talking about it. I'm so excited to talk about it here on Magical Cinnamon. Anyways, this is it for now. I want to take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you're a member, thank you very much for your support. And if you've watched up until now, thank you so much as well. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.